Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing this, probably one of the most popular airsoft sidearm platforms that is currently available in the world. This is the Action Army AAP-01, and it's not just the AAP-01, this is the AAP-01C. So it is the compact version. This came out a while after actually the AAP-01. If you're not aware, the AAP-01 is a pistol that fires semi-automatic and full automatic. It is polymer construction. You can buy it for around $100, and the customization you can do on it is endless. So much customization. It's kind of like a high capper in the way that so many companies now make aftermarket parts, whether that is lowers, uppers, different bolts in it to make it faster firing, HPA adapters, everything. And so this is actually something I bought because I'm going to be doing a hybrid lower conversion with the TAP Airsoft hybrid lower that I've received. And so before I did that, I thought, you know what, it's good to just do a little unboxing. So if you're out there, you don't really care about HPA conversions, etc., you're just thinking about buying this, then this will hopefully give you a lot of information, give you a bit of a close-up so you can see what it is. And then I'm actually going to do a removal of the orange tip. So if you do not want to have an orange tip on this thing, which I don't think most people will, this is if you live in the US because they're going to come with orange tips, then this is something that you can do by watching my video and then going through the steps. So as you can see, very nice packaging. It's the AAP-01. This is just a very good performing pistol. The original AAP-01, I think, in my opinion, is quite strange looking. This is your manual that's going to come with. I never really read this, but I know Airsoft, so it's kind of good to read if you don't know what it is. It's actually got a different little area here talking through which parts are which. If you do want to change things, then actually that's quite good as well. But that comes with everything. A lot of people just throw these away. The actual replica, which is this, which I think is quite cool looking. Now, it doesn't really look like a real steel firearm, not one that I kind of recognize or know that well. But this compared to the original, I think is quite a big improvement. The good thing with this is it is basically the same internals as the original. So all of the aftermarket parts that they ended up building, all these third-party companies that have done this stuff, they will all fit inside this replica, and therefore you can easily take your old AAP-01 that you were building, or if you're just out there and you're looking for specific AAP-01C parts, you don't necessarily need to look for that. You can just you can buy this and you can see what it is. If you can see here, it's actually got Shinobi written on the inside, on the actual, not on the inside, on the rail, on the rail, on the pistol grip. I'll show you that there. So you can see that says Shinobi right there on there, you see. And this is probably a better angle just to give you a close up. Like the design of it's quite different. It obviously is kind of a pistol size. It's got a very similar kind of lower to what the AAP-01 regular one has. It's got a very similar bolt design, which is the same basically. It has got Picatinny rails built in. Now with the other one, you had the option to put the Picatinny rails on either the top slide or the bottom, and then you could run red dots on it, but it was a little bit clunky. Like for instance with mine, here's another one that I have, which is the AAP-01 base. I've actually broken it, as you can see here. So this is a video that's coming up. You can see this spring sticking out here. That's an upgraded bolt inside the front end of this. So this is what the body looks like, minus this grip and minus the trigger. And then this actually just has a very much shorter kind of cylindrical barrel coming out. You can see here, it's the same size base effectively. It's just that this thing is a lot shorter on the front end. And instead of having to bolt on these rails like this one here to put stuff on, that is cut out of the actual slide. The bolt actually as well, in terms of, sorry, the bolt cover, no, the kind of ejection port is very much smaller on this one. It actually bends around the top of the replica on this. Obviously, this is now covered by the rail, so you can't really see that. But same rear iron sights if you're putting that on. Yeah, so like I didn't like necessarily, like this looks different because there's a suppressor on it, but I didn't necessarily like the look of the AAP-01 original. I actually more bought it for the reasoning that it is, it's like the function of it. Like the pistol is actually just very good and it fires full auto. So if you want to spend $100, you want to get a pistol that's going to work kind of everywhere you can, like really tech it out to make it either like a carbine or whatever. I've done lots of videos on the AAP-01, so this is more just on this. Now, the downside of this, as you can probably see, is this thing sticking out the end of it. It is horrible. It's orange, and I think I know how to remove this. So what I'm going to do in this video is just actually remove it. And I've seen in the box, it actually includes this, which is basically a barrel stabilizer. So if I remove that, you can see the inner barrel inside. That might be free floating, and because it's such a short little inner barrel and it's so thin, I'm worried that the accuracy is going to be affected. So I presume that this is going to sit in place and just give you, it's kind of like a rubbery texture. It's just going to support that inner barrel and get rid of this horrible orange situation. So I'm going to do that. The other great thing, which is the same with the AAP-01, same with the AAP-01C, is that they take these Glock mags. So if you have a Glock, or if you're thinking of getting one, these magazines will fit in any Glock, and any Glock Mag 17 and any Glock 17 mags will fit here. It will take larger mags, but it won't take Glock 19 mags. So just because it's the AAP-01C does not mean it's got a shorter hand grip and therefore will take Glock 19 mags. It's going to take Glock 17 mags. The Elite Force ones are excellent, so if you're thinking of getting one, those are great. But you can buy these. These are about $30. I think it's like $31 to get them. They're fine. One thing I would say is you can see here these feed this little gas router on the back. It's kind of like a flat rubber that pushes the gas into the replica. The ones that come for VFC are, sorry, the ones that come with the Elite Force Glocks have like a little kind of chamfer. They're kind of cut in a curved way, and that I think in those gives it a better air seal. So it might be something where if you're thinking I'm going to buy an Elite Force Glock, you may not want to then go down the route of buying a load of these. I would spend the extra, I think they're $50 instead of $30. But I'd probably spend that extra amount just to get those because the performance will be better. But otherwise, I mean, it's the same shape. It is the same, it's not the same magazine, but it's going to do the same thing in whatever you put it in. And you may well like this kind of shorter version and you may want to run it like that. Or, you know, you can see here, this front piece will remove and you could put something else in there. You could basically turn this with the AAP-01 platform into whatever you want. If you're not aware of this as well, the way you change it from semi to full auto is here. There is a selector, sorry, actually on this one it's technically there. So there is a selector right there which will flick between F for full auto and back to, sorry I'm pushing it the wrong way, and S for semi. So that's going to switch us between full auto and semi-auto, which is great. It is all polymer. The bolt is polymer as well, so that's pretty rare. But these are very hard wearing. Glock style trigger. There's no other real, sorry, there is another safety. Safety is here. So again, very similar. It's like a push through safety. So I don't think I've ever really used it. You've got that Glock trigger, which unless you're pushing this detent in, it's not gonna do anything. So yeah, so it's a great platform. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to quickly remove this. Then what I'm going to do is do a quick chrono for you guys and a RPS, so how many rounds per second it's firing at. So hopefully that gives you kind of a good idea of just the base performance. And then obviously later we're going to do in another video, so please subscribe, I'm going to do a version where I'm going to remove this lower, put the hybrid lower on, which has an HPA adapter, and we'll run it in that format as well. And I'm going to change out the trigger. I'm going to put a custom like adjustable trigger in the hybrid. So that's a video to come. That'll be very, very soon. So if you guys have questions about that in this video, let me know, or things you want to see in it, let me know, but I'll be doing that very shortly. And this is going to be the base replica that's going to happen. So what I will do is grab my little kit here. and I am going to start work on this. So what I'm going to do here is I believe I'm going to remove the mag. I'm actually going to charge the action. Now to take the upper off, I need to push this button and then lift. And then it feels like it kind of is not separating, but actually if you just pull it with force, that is kind of like a little bar here that just sits into that indent, and that basically once you've pushed it into place and it's clicked in, that is where it's hinging. And then when you're doing this, you're all good. So what I think, this is the lower, I'm gonna get rid of that, we don't need it. What I think I'm gonna need to do is just remove the 2 screws right here in the bottom, in the base, and that is gonna mean that I can, like this camera again is just going a bit weird. I'm over here. I think it's when I like put the replica up to the screen, it doesn't like that. It's kind of like it's like, oh, don't show that in front of your face. I'm trying to find your face. So maybe I'll try and not do that as much. So this is the rail or the front here. And I think if I just remove, as I just said that, I've just gone and done it. I think if I remove these 2 screws, then I can just slip this orange flash hider out. But we will see if that is correct. I'm going to need an Allen key that's going to fit this, and that is perfect. So we'll do that. It feels like there's some Loctite on these screws. I'll try and show you that. But yeah, guys, if you're thinking like, oh, I want my first airsoft replica that's like a pistol as opposed to being like an AEG, which is probably what I'd recommend. Like an AEG primary if you want to go and play games. This is a really good option. Obviously it is gas, so you're going to need gas to run it. And obviously the mag capacity for it out of the box is going to be low. There you go, just slides out. So there's 2 little screw holes there where that screw sat in, just through that little hole, those holes, sorry. And then that is there, you can see straight through. We're absolutely fine. That's been pulled out. So I could just run it like that, I think. There isn't that much movement in the actual barrel, but if that gets knocked, if that gets loose, then it is gonna affect the performance. And so it looks like on here, there's kind of like a flattened top, and then it's kind of got these. So there's a flattened top on here. So I'm just gonna try and thread this through, which seems to be fairly easy. Yeah, so that is perfect. And that is sitting just perfectly there. So you can see now that those ridges have sat in those gaps, if I can get that. So then you can see, it's not great with the background that I've got. Let's do it on my face. Yeah, so you can see those little ridges there have just sat in that gap. And then what I'm gonna do is just put these screws back in. I mean, I don't know how effective the screws are going to be because they're going into rubber as opposed to this plastic, but this thing is going to look so much better now, in my opinion. You may think differently. Okay, so that basically isn't really screwing in. It's just sitting in place. So I'm going to put these in so that it stays there, but it's not like you've got that kind of locking feeling. I like that this has the built-in rails as well, because I think they're kind of like the skeleton cut minimal rails. They are polymer, yes, but you know, like it really just doesn't take much away from the replica and adds quite a bit. Okay, so that's now what it looks like, which I think is far, far better. This guy, I don't know, you may disagree, but I think that looks so much better than it used to. And then this is the comparison there for these guys. Try and get some nice light on them. So yeah, so that's what it's going to look like now. It is not got the best trigger, to be honest, but that is something I'm going to change. It's fairly easy to change it. It's kind of like an internal, it's like an internal, oh, there we go. Really messing up my technical. Right, there's like the internal bolt here, so it's not like an exterior slide that's moving, which is why this thing's gas efficiency is so good, why you can do such a good job with the rate of fire, and it's such a light little polymer bolt that is retracting. The nozzle is great, it's got some really good seal on it, so you can see when I pull this back, like the nozzle's sat in place and then it starts to pull away. There you go. So that's got a really good air seal on it, which is great. So what I will do for you guys quickly is a chrono, just to see at what rate of, what FPS it's firing at. We're expecting probably around that 300 to 330 mark. And then I'll also do a rate of fire so you guys can see how fast it's firing. For this, I'm actually going to use some pretty hot gas. So it's at 150 PSI. Normally I would use the Swiss Arms gas, which is for the pistol. But this is going to be kind of your standard green gas. So I thought it's probably better to use this one. As you can see on this one, I've done it in another video, but I actually have modded this Talon grips so that this is basically built for a Glock, but it means that I've got this texture on here. So that again is something I could probably do on this one a lot easier. It's almost more of a kind of Glock style grip than the other one. It's a lot flatter, but similar profile for sure. But it's not got that cutout in there, which was kind of the main issue that I had. And it's a lot flatter, like less grooves here for doing it. So that's got gas in it now. In terms of filling it, it's going to be like a normal Glock mag fill. So I've got here some 0.2 gram BBs. And what I'm going to do is pull down this spring right here. And then I've got a little gap at the bottom now where I can just tilt this and put some BBs in here. I'm not shooting them off. Not a great example. But yeah, so I think this one you can get between about $95 and $110. I think there's a couple of versions, weirdly, you can get on eBike. If you want to buy one of these, there will be a link down below, which is a referral link. I bought this myself, but it does help the channel if you buy it through that link. So if you would like to support the channel, please just go down to that link and click through as opposed to going to eBike or Google and searching it. That would be really nice for me. But they have an international version, which this is, which is $110. And then they have a US version, which is $95. I don't know what the difference is. So if you do know what the difference is, please do put that in the comments so other people can know. But as far as I can tell, everything seemed to be the same. Right, I need my, this will be a link for this as well, but this is the Ace Tech chronograph. It is called the AC6000 Mark II. So this is a good chrono. It's about $100 again to get this. So I kind of use this for everything. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just charge it. I'm going to get my eye protection. And then, oh, okay, so that's interesting. I might need to turn the hop up on. Let's see. It's not what you do with your replica, because that definitely could have broken that pretty easily. I actually did that last week with one of my Desert Eagles, and I snapped the feed lips that were here, so that would have stopped it. I think there is no hop up applied to this right now, so that BB just rolled out the end. We'll see on this one. Yeah, so what I need to do is actually set that hop. Otherwise, we're going to continue to have that happen. The hop wheels are here. So if you can see there, I'm going to screw this camera again. The hot wheels are there, so I should just be able to adjust it by pushing. However, I do not know which way I'm supposed to be pushing this. And it's not the easiest thing to adjust, let me put it that way. Once you've adjusted it, it should be fine. Right, let's see if that happens again. And then we'll know if we have some hop. I'm not doing a test in terms of range on this. Okay, so you see there, it's not dropping that out. So we're in a better standpoint. So I've got this set for 0.2 gram BBs, which is what I have in here. I wouldn't use 0.2 gram BBs on this. I'd probably use 0.25s to 3s, just because it's a pistol, and 0.2s. This thing actually has some good range to it. From the hop up being a good system, and the barrel length isn't great, but it does actually have good range. So you can use heavier BBs and you can hop them. So I would use that, but for the purposes of chronoing it, So the most simple is just to see what it is shooting at on point 2. So that's what we're going to do. And this is firing at 300, 294, 293, 282, 287, 283. So that is between 300 and 283. That's pretty good in terms of the variance that it has. I'm now going to quickly just switch this over to full auto. Again, I'm just going to switch this right there, and that is switching it to full auto. And we will see how this thing fires in full auto. I have done yep. So it is charged, and we'll let you know on here what the rounds per second is on this. So here we go. So that is firing at 18 rounds per second. So that's pretty quick. And if you think like, oh wait, I'm going to have and then I've got bolt lock there. If you're thinking, hey, I have a full auto airsoft gun in this size package for $100, it really is a fantastic deal. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I think probably most people would say that the AAP-01 is very competitively priced, more for actually performance than it is just for the looks of it. But I will, with the little camera here, which I'm going to show you right now, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a close-up just of this thing firing full auto, dry firing full auto. It's not going to really have anything, just so I can check. There is no BB inside here, and that action is back. I can just use the slide release, which is the same as a Glock. This is ambidextrous on this. Is it on this one? Yeah, it's ambidextrous on both AAPs. So that moved. I'm going to hold down the slide and show you guys quickly what this is like. See there, it ran out of gas. So hopefully this has been really interesting for you, and it's been helpful. If you are thinking about buying the AAP-01C and you're worried in any way about performance or customizability, don't worry at all. I definitely recommend it. As I said, if you want to buy one, there will be a link in the description below to Evike where it has a referral code for me. So that would be great if you can. I'll put a link as well for the magazines and for the chronograph and for gas. And I think that's about it. But I hope you guys found this video good. If you have any questions, as I said, put them down in the description below. If you give me a like and a follow, I would really appreciate that. And I will see you on the next video, possibly where I am going to be modding this thing into an HPA adapted platform. Thank you guys so much. Goodbye.